The topic that I want to discuss in this video is something that none of us are really told early on in life, finding our purpose as Muslim men. What does purpose mean to you? I mean, fair enough, we have to take care of our deen, we have responsibilities in front of the Creator. But realistically, like it's so confusing, right? You're like, do I need to be making money? Do I need to be focusing all my energy on providing for my family? Am I supposed to be, trying to educate myself on Islam and teaching people that? Or maybe I should just be working a job that fulfills me, that helps the ummah. There's so many different questions, and I just want to relate it back to the context of where I am right now. Now, you might look at my background and think I'm on some corporate job, just trying to make a whole bunch of money. I was just having a conversation with one of my employers, and he asks me, "What is your main motivation on being in this job in the first place?" Now, if you work in sales, people ask you this all the time. Every single day they get asked this question, and 99% of people will say, "Obviously, I'm motivated by money." So that's the response he was expecting from me. But honestly, I thought about it for like 10 seconds, right? You know what? I'm only here to learn how to communicate. Tonality. I was studying psychology for a long time, and I realized that when you learn things in theory, it doesn't really help you. The problem that I see so many Muslim men make is they work some job that doesn't fulfill them at all. Imagine you are a fisherman, and this is a anecdote that I got from Hamza. You fish every day. You wake up next to your beautiful wife and you bring fish home, and now your whole family is eating on the plate. Your wife just cooked the fish that you brought. It's a direct link. You're quite literally feeding your family and they're giving you love in return. And then the Industrial Revolution happens. Now you have to work in a factory for like 8 hours. And then you take that money and you exchange it for resources. You buy some sort of a meat or fish or whatever it is, and you bring it to the family. It's not so much direct anymore. Like, it doesn't feel like it's your own labor. You don't really know who you're helping. Like, you're working in this factory, you're putting stuff into boxes, or maybe, you might be a higher up, you might be working as a lawyer, you might be working as an engineer. If you don't know deep down what you're doing for the society, for the ummah, then you're not going to be fulfilled. Alternatively, there's people, who are all about passion. They're like, oh, I'm just going to follow my passion, so I'm going to go out there and become a poem writer. Now, that's stupid too, because you need to make some sort of income to feed your family. On this video, I'll outline a full guide on how you can actually find your purpose. Now, if you think back to your earlier years, you had a certain sense that it's not quite there anymore. Like, for example, if you went to school and you were writing a lot, or you were drawing in class or anything like that, there was some component of school that you really gave you fulfillment. Maybe it was physical activity, maybe it was playing football in front of all the people at school. You like performing physical activity in front of a lot of people. That could be the route for you. You need to figure out what it was for you. Now, for me personally, there was nothing that gave me more fulfillment than standing in front of the whole class and delivering something. Like, the school I went to, it was a Russian school, so we had to memorize these Russian poems. Just memorized it and say it in front of the whole class, and I always got the best grades for it. That was the only thing that I was actually getting an A for. Not everything else I was fluffing, bro. So now I realized growing up that communication, explaining concepts is something that genuinely fulfills me. And it's the same thing with most YouTubers out there. So where am I now? I'm working in a job where I'm trying to communicate my thoughts. I'm trying to persuade people. I'm trying to wow them with the product and get them to do something. That's my purpose. That's how I can assist the ummah. And believe me, by following something you are genuinely passionate about, you are going to be assisting the society way more than if you just took some traditional route. If you have no interest in engineering and you get a job as an engineer, you're not going to be fulfilled from building those houses. On the other hand, if you really enjoyed that sort of thing at school, you were drawing in math class and you were doing all these measurements, you are genuinely passionate about helping people build houses and sustainable buildings, then that's the route for you. Some people think that if you follow the passion, and I don't mean to get all hippie here, but if you follow what you're truly passionate about, they think you're not going to make any money. And that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Anything you do out there can make you a whole ton of money. Like, for example, right, if you really enjoy drawing at school, do you think you're going to make any money from it? You don't have to be some hippie who draws portraits in the street and just sits there and sells them for $5. You don't need to do that. That's just stupidity. What you could do, you could use those drawing skills, contact a bunch of YouTubers, and then sell them your thumbnails. Say, look, I drew this thumbnail for you. If you pay me $75, I'll give this to you. Even if you think about me right now making this video, majority of my videos don't get that many views. Like, for example, I made a video the other day titled, What Happens When You Learn Martial Arts as a Muslim. It didn't get that many views, but that was probably the video that I felt most passionate about, because I had people commenting, where can I find the best gym in Melbourne? What is the best martial arts to start with? And it wasn't many comments. It was pretty small. I'm a small channel. But even if I encourage one person to take up martial arts, bro, I just changed the whole trajectory of that person's life. His whole life is going to be better now because of me. Think about all the sawab I get from that. Think about all the positive karma from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I've made videos before encouraging people how to pray. Now, if one person takes up prayer because of me, that fulfills me way more than, making $1 million in some stupid business that I don't like. Fair enough, I'll have $1 million, like I can spend it on anything I want. But the fact that I'm changing the trajectory of people's lives, that's a whole different type of fulfillment. And this is something I would have never found if I never discovered that this is something I was passionate about. I understand that we are Muslims and we have our own obligations. So this next step is going to be to align your purpose with your deen. This is something that doesn't get talked about and blows my mind. This could be the single most important thing you learn, not just for the dunya, but for your deen as well. Most people go to work, they do their meaningless job and they come home. And then, they do their prayers, they try to donate to the mosque. And alhamdulillah, that's a very good way to live your life. But what if I told you, during those 8 hours that you're working, you could literally be earning sawabs for the hereafter? Just think about this, right? Imagine you are an engineer and you really enjoy building houses for people, but you're not doing it for money. You genuinely enjoy providing them with buildings that's going to be safe and sustainable. Now, all of a sudden, every time you are working, you have this thought in mind and you are getting rewards from it from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're getting both money, fulfillment, and sawabs all in one. So why aren't you doing this? And the funny thing about this is you can literally apply the same concept to anything you do. Even if you're just drawing, if you start drawing good thumbnails that attract audience for channels like me, where I'm genuinely out here trying to encourage people to pray, encourage people to, live a healthier life, and people click on my video more because your thumbnail makes it look really cool, you're going to get the sawabs from it, bro. And that's meaning, that's fulfillment, that's everything in one. And make sure when you start pursuing your purpose, do not get stuck. A lot of people start getting really into poetry and they're like, oh, this is my main thing, I'm going to be selling poetry. No, that may not be your purpose. It could be, but it probably isn't, because there are so many different directions you can take. When I started my university, I thought psychology was going to be my thing and I'm going to be helping people that way. But as I progressed through these studies, I realized I could probably get more practical than this, Instead of trying to, talk people out of depression and all this stuff, which genuinely I don't really believe in, I thought I could use my communication skills to motivate people to do certain things. I could be on the phone and get people to buy products that will genuinely help them in life. It's still psychology. It's just psychology in practice. You understand it? Now, that way, I can help the ummah way more than I could have learning psychology. I would still be in uni doing some BS. Like, on this channel, I've influenced so many young men's lives. Maybe they don't even know it. Maybe they just started working out or praying or going to martial arts because of me. And they don't even know it, but this is going to make their life 1,000,000,000 times better, bro. It's over a long run. They're going to look back and be like, that one Muslim Boris guy. If I didn't hear that from him, my life would be totally different. What actually happens when you start following your purpose is you start to become detached from the wider society. Now, this might be a little bit off topic, but at the moment, you probably have to interact with a lot of idiots in your life. In your workplace, there's some dickheads out there who literally live for attention. They're trying to make people's lives worse for attention because they have some, messed up childhood trauma. Especially if you work in customer service, you'll notice really well. There's so many retarded people out there, bro. They have so much misery and built up anger, and they need to spread it to people everywhere they go. The funny thing is, when you live your life purposeless, You are forced to interact with these people one way or another. You have to, take public transport, you have to go to public libraries where you literally interact with people who are messed up in the head. When you start finding your purpose, is you mentally become detached from it. Because you are following your purpose, right? Nothing really matters to you. When you come into work, when you come into school, when you come into university, you don't really care about fitting in because you know you're not there to make friends. You're not there to have fun. You are simply there to fulfill your purpose, and that's going to give you way more excitement than trying to impress people. On top of that, when you actually start making money or through your purpose, and you start creating businesses, because business comes from purpose, remember this, then you can finally stop interacting with these people in general, bro. Your family can stop interacting with people. Your future wife won't have to be on a bus with a bunch of idiots. Why do people get those black windows, right, that you can't see through? They are literally detached from the world, bro. They're living their life as individuals. Everything else out there is a disease. They're living their life in a little cubicle. And that is the best way to live in this world we live in. Because there's so much stupidity out there, bro. Even if you look around right now, there's so much stupidity out there. It's, bro. There are people out there who are literally thinking about harassing women, trying to sexually assault women as we speak, bro. That's the society we live in. The only way to detach from this is to mentally just focus on your purpose 100% until you can escape this lifestyle. Now, I haven't even escaped it. I'm on the process. I should be there quite soon, but I'm just saying, I have no doubt that this is the right thing to do, even though I'm still a few steps behind where I want to be. Now, the last thing I want to tell you, make sure you keep up your salah. Because, bro, that's the one thing that's going to keep your mind sharp. If you pray salah and you keep your purpose in mind that you are trying to help the ummah in your own way, if you do it 5 times a day, bro, you're not going to be thinking about all this BS. Your mind is going to be focused at all times. Hurry up and go do your prayer. Stop watching this video. Go up and do a prayer. Even if you already prayed, go pray a sunnah.